Hey guys, and welcome back to For Vinyl Lovers. Anybody that knows me knows that I absolutely love going to gigs, and I always have people asking me a ton of questions like, how do you find out about these gigs? How do you keep up with it all? What's it like? Because they don't know. So yeah, today I'm giving you my top 10 tips for a great gig experience. So let's go. Tip number 1 is, if you can't find somebody to go with, go by yourself, okay? It really upsets my spirit. My actual spirit upsets my spirit when people say, oh, do you know what, I wanted to go and see so and so, but I couldn't find someone to go with, so they stayed at home. I promise you, going by yourself to a gig, it is not as bad as you might think it will be. It's a great opportunity to meet people that you probably wouldn't have met if you went with friends. And thirdly, you're amongst people that are huge fans, just like yourself, who are there to have a fun time. By the time your favorite artist is on stage, you're gonna forget that you're there by yourself. I promise you. I wouldn't lie to you. Believe me, I wouldn't lie. Some people are of the opinion that, oh, you know, if I go by myself, then that means I'm a loser, I'm a loner, I don't have any friends. Look, if you know that you have friends, and you actually have friends, then you don't actually need to feel that way because you know you have friends. Just because you're doing something by yourself does not mean that you don't have friends. You just have to figure that out for yourself. Now, look, don't get it wrong, okay? There have been a fair share of times where I've gone to gigs, especially ones that are, you know, my neo soul type of gigs, and there's a lot of couples. Like, for example, where I went to see Music Soul Child, there was just couples all over the place, and I was on my J's. And, you know, you might just stand there thinking, wow, like, having a babes would be nice right now. So don't get me wrong, like sometimes, you know, you might feel a little bit in your chest, but in all honesty, you're there to see the artist, so I promise you, like, that you might be feeling, it will go. When you're enjoying and singing along, it will go, I promise you. Tip number 2. So people always ask me, oh my gosh, how do you know that so-and-so is coming? How do you keep up with this? Okay, so the first app that I use is Twitter. And the second app that I use is called Songkick. The reason why I say Twitter is because I just think Twitter is amazing, first and foremost, but equally it's a place for instant information. I follow my favorite artists, venues, and ticket providers. That means that all the time on my feed, I'm getting information about the latest gigs that are out and who's performing. Even when gigs are cancelled, for example, there was an artist that I was supposed to see last week, I won't mention his name, D'Angelo, and his gig has been postponed till June, and I didn't know about it. But how did I find out that it was postponed? Through Twitter. So Twitter can actually really be your saving grace. The reason why Songkick is so good is because you can follow all of your favorite artists, from mainstream artists right through to independent artists. You put in your location. So for example, I'm in London, England, and it means that anytime that your artist is performing in your city, you will get a notification through the app, as well as an email notification to say that they're coming to your city. It also means that you can just look at their profile and see what other gigs they may have worldwide. So it's a really good app for keeping up to date with the latest concerts that may be in your city. Okay. Tip number 3, and this is for when you are literally about to attend the gig. Eat food and drink water, okay? It is so important that you drink plenty of water. Why? Because when you get to a gig, you're going to be tucked in like a sardine, okay? Like standing room. If it's not assigned seating, you are going to be in a hot space, and you do not want to feel faint. I promise you, I've been to my fair share of gigs where I've almost collapsed, okay? I've been to a gig where my friend have collapsed. And why is that? Because they were dehydrated, okay? So please, please, please drink water. Not fizzy drink, not juice, water. So important. In terms of eating food, you do not want to be like me and my friends who went to a GoldLink concert last summer. We decided, yeah, let's go to TGI Fridays. TGI Fridays is great. Let's go have some TGIs. And we had a burger and God knows what else. And we got to the GoldLink concert and it was lit. But it was a little bit too lit because a mosh pit broke out and, you know, the space was just, ugh. And it was hot and sweaty and everything. And now our bodies were trying to digest the burger that we had just ate. Not a good combination is basically what I'm trying to say. You will feel like you're about to die. So drink lots of water, eat lightly, and make sure that it's just something to line your belly so that after the show, you can then go and find something to eat. But you do not want to be digesting heavy food whilst you're at a gig. Please, don't do it to yourself. Tip number 4 is this: do not arrive dead on doors, okay? People stay playing themselves when they arrive on doors. Now, doors typically open on, 7 p.m., but it's literally what it says on the tin. The doors open at that time. That does not mean that the artist is going to be there. They're not going to be there in the next hour. It'll probably be another 2.5 to 3 hours before that artist hits the stage. So don't play yourself. If you know you've got other things to do, you can take your sweet time. Now, obviously, you might want to arrive on doors. If the artist is really important to you, you want to be at the front, you want to have the full-on experience, you want to catch the driplets of sweat that might come from them, then you might want to arrive at doors so that you have secured a space dead at the front. But if it doesn't really matter to you, then you can arrive anytime, usually between, 7 and I'd say 8:30 is a good time, because a lot of the time the artist goes on at 9 p.m. But obviously you want to check with the venue to find out what the stage times are. That means that you can plan your day or your evening accordingly. So yeah, tip number whatever that was, do not arrive dead on doors unless you want to be right at the front and stand around for hours. Okay. Tip number 5, make sure that your phone is fully on charged, and if you can, pack a portable charger with you. So you do not want to be at a gig and you're enjoying yourself and you're filming everything and everything is great, yeah? And your battery dies. And next thing you know, they brought out like an amazing surprise artist and you don't have footage of it. You don't want to be that person. I promise you, your heart will drop. Additionally, when the gig is finished and you need to order that Uber home, you'll be stranded if your phone is not charged. In addition to that, you want to make sure that you have room and space on your phone. Clear up some space before you go to that gig, because we live in the day and age where people want to film everything. So if you do want to film everything, make that space. Tip number 6, okay, make sure you wear suitable clothing to the gig. If I was going to a neo soul gig, I might put on the heels, I might dress up a little bit cute. But if I'm going to a Little Sims gig, do you get what I mean? I'm not going to be wearing heels. Why? Because at certain gigs, you're finna get lit. Do you get what I mean? Like when I went to see Masego, for example, like I was jumping up and down the whole time. Heels isn't really the best shoe to be doing that in, ladies and gents. I don't discriminate. So you don't want to be wearing heels whilst at certain gigs. Other gigs that might be a bit more laid back, or if you know you're gonna have seats, designated seats, then you're fine. Wear whatever you want. But majority of gigs, you are going to be standing for hours on your feet, and unless you can firm it, don't do it to yourself. And additionally, if the gig is going to be a turn-up gig, you don't want to be doing that in heels. That's just my personal opinion. Wear what makes you feel comfortable. Same goes for your clothing. Do not wear jumpers. Even something like this that I'm wearing now, you don't really want to wear that to a gig. You want to do layers, ideally, or anything that's kind of thin. The reason why is because you're just going to get hot. Like I've mentioned before, you're packed like sardines. It is not a joke. I'm not being extra. The body heat and CO2 emissions coming from people's mouths means that you'll get hot. Wear layers, and if so, put your stuff in the cloakroom, wrap it around your waist, do what you got to do. Oh my gosh, this next one. Tip number 7. Please listen to this one. Don't push in front. I can't stand when people do that. And they do it when there's no space. Don't be that person. I'm sorry. That's a red flag for me. Don't do that. It's rude, okay? I'm sorry. Maybe I have my hang-ups and other people don't mind, but just don't do it. I just think, if you haven't arrived on time, try and find a space. If there's space for you, go to that space. But when people literally like try and push in front and get to wherever they can, don't be that person, because I just think it's rude and it's bad manners. That's just me personally. You never know who you're pushing in front of. Some people don't mind it, other people don't like it. So you don't really want to, you don't want to start nothing, is basically what I'm saying. Which kind of leads me to that next point. Do not get finessed out of your space, okay? Do not let people finesse you out of the space. This is what these people like to do. You'll be enjoying, doing up enjoyment. Yeah, vibing out, yeah. And tutus you might hear from behind you, I think my friend is at the front. She said she was at the front. The word friend, if you hear that, be prepared. It's a red flag. That's what it is. Shout out to Wally British. They're about to try and finish you out of your space, okay? There is no friend. That's the first thing I'm gonna say. There is no friend. It's an imaginary friend, okay? It's a lie. That's what it is. And you're about to be finessed. I've had people literally push in front of me, push me out the way, and proceed to stand like this close. Yeah, like we might as well be doing things. That's how close they are to me. I'm not exaggerating, and I don't like it because, you know, I like my personal space, but if you're at a gig, it's not gonna be there. But when people are like deliberately encroaching on it, drives me insane. People will literally just be this close to you, but you have to ask yourself: did I really pay my 20 plus, 30 plus, maybe even 40 plus pounds to be finessed out of my space? Did I really pay my 20 plus, 30 plus, 40 plus pounds to be sniffing head back? Oh my gosh, some experiences I've had. For example, right? Last summer, I went to see Mother Erykah Badu, and I was at the back, but I still had a good view of the stage. Tutus now, this couple decided they're going to push in front of me. There was a significant height difference between them. I was in a peace, love, and joyful mood, so I didn't say anything, don't mind. But what did they decide to start doing? Every 10 seconds, they want to be turning to each other and start doing bare tongues lip syncing. Whilst Mother Erykah is on the stage. So I didn't mind it the first 2 times. I was thinking, yay, love. I love love. But they were doing it every 10 seconds. The little, you know, cubbyhole space that I had to be able to see was being obstructed. So you have to ask yourself, self, am I going to let this run? And the answer to that should be a no. So I'm sorry, I had to just tap them on the shoulder. I said, excuse me guys, I'm really sorry. I'm not trying to be rude. I love what's going on here. But I can't see Erykah. That's literally what I said to them. And they were just like, oh, so sorry, you know, come stand in front of us, whatever. That's the thing. Stand your ground, assert yourself, and don't let people finesse you out of your seat, out of your space. Not your seat, because it's standing room. Tip number 9, and this is a serious point. As I have already stressed multiple times in this video, you are in a tight and enclosed space. Personal boundaries are being broken because you are at a gig environment. And some people, unfortunately, do take it upon themselves to try and exert power over you, especially if you're a woman, and perhaps even inappropriately touch you. I've seen it happen to women before whilst at gigs. It has happened to me at gigs, and it is unacceptable on every single ground. You as a fan, as an attendee of a gig, need to do what you need to do to feel comfortable. If anybody inappropriately touches you, report it. Go and talk to a member of staff, go and talk to a member of security and get their asses kicked out. And my final tip is enjoy the moment, okay? In this day and age, we do love to film stuff. We love to have memories. I love all the memories that I've collected on my phone through videos and photos that I've taken. But I also can't stress enough how important it is that you do get lost in the moment of the music. Because the whole point in the gig experience is that you're able to hear the music live, you're able to see the artist in the flesh. If you spend most of your time on your phone, putting it on Snapchat, putting it on Instagram, you might as well listen to them at home on your Apple Music, on your Spotify. Do you get what I mean? The whole point in you paying that £20, £30, whatever, is so that you can have the whole experience. So make sure that you experience it. I promise you, you will have a wicked time. From you love the artist, from you love their music, you're gonna enjoy yourself. You're gonna feel the energy of everybody that's in the room who's just as excited as you. Singing together as a chorus, oh, it's the best feeling in the world. I'm sorry, I love going to gigs. Those are my top 10 tips. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for vinyl lovers. Click below. And yeah, take care. Okay. Tip. So yeah, that's the answer to that.